You know how many times I've seen this exact same
Everyone
fucking
in it
fit?
wearing
Hold
hyper
on.
stuff. And on top,
I've seen at least I've seen at least like 20 niggas in fucking high school wear this the exact same fucking fit. The satisfying death of sneaker culture. Oh man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I haven't really been wanting to like buy new like shoes, but I think it's because I'm broke and I can't afford it, and I'm pretty sure most people are struggling. So most people can't buy, you know, fancy Jordans. So I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, what do y'all think, bro? But man, let's see what's going on, bro. I remember the whole hype beast shit, bro. I remember like when Kanye wore something, niggas was wearing that the next day. I don't, you know what I mean? But let's see what's going on.
just over a decade ago, Kanye West and Adidas released the Yeezy Boost 350 Turtle Dove, a shoe which, in my opinion, symbolized one of the craziest cultural moments ever.
Bro.
The hype beast
I remember this nigga Kanye was just walking over his fucking shoes, bro.
era. Brands like Supreme and Nike were causing riots. Kids in school were showing up in fake Yeezys getting roasted, and people were dressing
You fake Gucci belt. Like at that point, it like, I mean, I never really had designer growing up. Even to this day, I've never really had designer. I don't think I've ever really had designer, bro. But like, if I just can't get it, I'm not gonna buy the fake shit. You know, like, you know, I think it's like at that point, just don't buy it. You know, if you're gonna buy, you know, fake stuff, if you can't afford it, bro. You don't need to portray yourself. You know, you don't gotta be the most classiest nigga in the fucking block. I don't fucking know.
like this, or even this.
The
But what
babe,
tied
the Supreme. Oh yeah, the Supreme, bro.
all of these crazy streetwear
That shit is
pieces
fire, though.
together was the
I'm not gonna lie,
shoes.
that shit do look
I
comfy.
mean, you weren't gonna pop out in off-white
man, bro.
Supreme and have Nike Hirachis on. That would have been
I did have these, bro. I did have Hirachis, bro. They were all red. I had a pair of all red Hirachis, bro. These shoes were super fucking comfortable. If y'all ever had these shoes, bro, like they're actually really comfortable.
crazy in 2016. Sneakers were
Yeah.
at the core of the hypebeast streetwear fashion trend. I mean, literally every single influencer, celebrity, and YouTuber I followed at that time was wearing Yeezys or Human Races or Jordans
Isn't that the flame thrower that fat ass nigga Elon made? Or he didn't make it. I mean, he didn't make that shit. That nigga's too retarded to make some shit like that.
Dunks or some dope ass shoe. And if you were super into shoes, you were dubbed a sneakerhead. The 2010s were the perfect time to be
I know people that have like a whole closet of fucking Jordans and Nikes, bro. You know what I mean? Look, bro, I am not against sneaker culture, just in a way, just like as long as you're not like, you know, making yourself go broke because you want the newest pair of Jordans. Like if you can afford that shit, or if you could save up money to get them, that's one thing. But when you're like obsessively buying them knowing you don't got the money for it, and you're going to school, or you're just buying fake shit online, you know, there's that too. But like, I don't think it's worth it, bro. I don't think luxury is worth it, bro. I consider Jordan's luxury, in my opinion. I know some niggas think I'm crazy, but I do, you know, I have some ones. I have some twos. Is that it? Oh, I have some 12s too. I have some 12s too. But that's pretty much it. I'm not really too obsessed to buy like nice shoes. It's not like I go out to places anyways, you know what I mean?
With the community and culture being at its peak. But nowadays, it's like no one cares anymore. No one's rioting outside of pop-up shops. There's no crazy hype for a new sneaker release. And
Bro, it's because people can't afford it though. That's really what it is though. It's just like niggas just can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I also have a pair of Air Forces. I forgot about that shit. I do got a pair of Air Forces. I think everybody should have a pair of Air Forces. But like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I mean, it's like people just can't afford that shit no more, bro.
craziest of all,
It's just expensive as fuck. They're like over $1,000 and shit, and on Goat or fucking wherever you fucking buy your shoes from, or Foot Locker. I mean, Foot Locker don't really got. That's another thing too. Foot Locker don't really got like bro, the Jordans that I would want to get, I just don't see them in store
type
anymore.
shoes that sold for thousands lost all of their value. So what happened to the sneakerheads, the sneaker economy, and the entirety of the hypebeast era? Well, I
mean, what happened to the rest of the economy?
think that there are 4 main reasons all of this died, with the first reason being thanks to sneaker resellers. Collecting sneakers and sneakerhead culture has been around for a long time, and it roughly
They would buy them and then resell
began
them
in the 70s.
but
But things really started going crazy once Jordans were introduced in the 80s. Air Jordans were produced by Nike, inspired by basketball star Michael Jordan, and the first shoe they released was the iconic Jordan 1.
I literally have a pair of ones, bro.
Of course,
the ones are so nice.
Around this time, other shoes were sought after too, like Converses and other brands that I'm forgetting right now. But let's be real here, Jordans were the cream of the crop. According to National Geographic, for some weird reason, they said sneaker culture began to take off beyond the basketball court too. When the influential hip-hop group Run DMC released their single My Adidas in 1986, it earned the group a first-of-its-kind endorsement deal with the brand. Soon after, Kurt Cobain of the grunge band Nirvana made Converse a symbol of rebellion and youth. Sneakers were popularized and glamorized by celebrities, especially athletes and musicians, who set the trends and influenced the culture. This generated excitement for sneakers. People coveted certain shoes that the youth deemed cool, and kids started collecting them. The companies realized this, so companies like Nike, Adidas, and more began releasing limited edition sneakers.
Kids were camping out in front of shoe stores.
Yo.
Much like this episode of HBO's Entourage.
I don't get it. All these people are online for sneakers? Oh yeah, some of them probably even camped out all night for sneakers.
It's like when you would go to like when a new game console would drop, or like a new a new game console would drop, or like a new video game, a new Call of Duty, like Black Ops 2. Everybody's like camping out and shit. GTA 6, but it's because you know what I mean. But nowadays you could just buy that shit online too. You know what I mean? Unless I don't know if you got the money for it.
These ain't just sneakers. These are limited edition Fukijamas.
Fukiwatas?
In some cities, they were breaking down doors,
Rioting.
Some were even arrested.
If someone gets hurt in front of a Nike store, you're gonna...
But I think fashion, like the height of fashion, always changes. There's always a new trend. And eventually, there's gonna be like it just changes, bro. And then also people just buy a lot of people buy like the custom vintage shit now. You know what I'm saying? But
blame Nike. You can't get hurt clicking a button.
The reason they would do this is to drive up demand and the forbidden H word, hype. If 200 people wanted a shoe and they only sold 100, resellers in the aftermarket could mark up those shoes. Maybe 100 of those 200 people couldn't quite afford the new price, but the other 100 could. And this is where the problem began. For a long time, resellers, or their less pleasant name, scalpers, weren't the worst thing in the sneaker community,
scalpers.
and they weren't as hated as they are today. If anything,
it's probably because they weren't going crazy with the fucking prices.
Marking up shoes an extra chunk of change made the sneaker community more intense. It made waiting in line for a brand new pair of shoes all the more thrilling, and it helped to inflate the artificial value of these shoes.
Those are the most chopped fucking fours I've ever seen, bro. What the fuck is that?
Since they were
the Superman shoes, Jordans, bro. What the fuck?
But for the most part, sneakerheads and everyone in the community, even the resellers, were pretty into shoes. Buy, sell, trade.
Those are the Chicago ones, right?
Was the motto for a lot of these people.
Oh man, those are the Chicago's ones, right? I'm not a super sneakerhead like I was like years ago. Damn, that shit really died off. I think really what it is, I just can't afford to buy like shoes like that. Not in this fucking dog shit economy.
Trading sneakers like they were Pokemon cards. And honestly, it was a pretty cool community until it got infiltrated. It's kind of hard to put a timestamp on this, but I'd say roughly the early 2010s is when the sneaker community started to get really hot, especially thanks to social media and pop culture.
I know niggas that would do like buy now, pay later.
It was in this time period that sneaker brands like Jordan, Nike, and others were picking up even more steam.
Yo, those are 11s? Yeah, those are 11s.
Simultaneously, streetwear brands and streetwear fashion was taking off, with Supreme, Bape, Off-White, and more picking up steam. Or Palace, do you guys remember Palace? That was fire. Any and everyone was jumping onto the streetwear and sneaker hype train. Again, according to Nat Geo, the Kardashian era had a huge impact on the culture. It helped target a whole new demographic of people to experience sneaker culture. It was a blending of high and low fashion, which the shoe industry has never really seen before. Because of all these people getting involved, the forbidden H word I mentioned was getting bigger, and everyone was becoming a hype beast. The term hype beast had actually been around since the mid-2000s, and originally it was a derogatory term for people who just followed streetwear trends. But eventually it was embraced by these sorts of people who were proud to be hype beast.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. To this day, like it's like a sin to call someone a hype beast. I'm not gonna lie. At least to me, it is.
The kids today versus what you were doing 35 years ago.
These kids today don't seem like they want the shoes. They want the thing that goes along with having the shoes. Somebody figured out that there's money for a pair of sneakers because of this hype.
The hype is generated by Nike, which denied Nightline's request to talk about its strategy. For prize sneakers, they make a limited supply.
Those are nice, bro. The Air Max 97.
Driving up the aftermarket price tag.
Another good example of the hypebeast trend can be seen in Supreme. Well, not quite sneakers. Supreme was directly.
Bro, I would always see niggas wear like the long sleeve shirt or just a blank white t-shirt, just Supreme on it. Niggas would be like, "Is that real Supreme?" Niggas is checking it to see if it's real and shit. Bro, niggas used to like, bro. You ever had, I know y'all have had this experience. There was that one kid that got exposed for having like fake designer, like Gucci belts, like fake Gucci belts was like a huge thing for a while. You know what I'm saying? Or MCM belts, or is it MGM, or is it MCM or MGM? I forgot. It's one of the two. It's called an MGM or MCM belt. I remember that shit, bro. The MCM belts, bro. That shit died off, bro. I think, I don't know, bro.
Related to sneaker culture. The brand was popularized by Tyler, the Creator, Odd Future, and skate culture. It became so trendy and so hyped that people were out there buying Supreme bricks and Supreme shovels and then reselling them for hundreds of dollars and
this is when this shit gets a little goofy.
Sometimes thousands.
This is goofy as fuck.
For 3 or 4 days now.
For what?
You're probably gonna freak out when I show you what they're waiting for.
Please do.
Yeah, shovels, bricks.
Shovels and bricks.
We can only thank Supreme for making this their new shovel.
This is
why the fuck? I mean, that is a useful type of shovel to have. Like if you're in the woods or some shit, that really is a useful shovel. But like other than that, like why are you buying a designer shovel, my nigga? That shit's gonna get scratched up and shit.
Around the time when everybody and their mom was getting into streetwear or sneaker culture, all for the sake of the hype. Every celebrity was making their own shoe. You had Kanye with
the nigga, the iconic clip of him walking over the shoes like they're nothing.
Yeezys, never mind the Red Octobers that he already made that were super hype, super rare, and dope. You had Pharrell with the Human Races, one of my personal favorites from the hype era. You had Travis Scott with the Travi Patty 4s and the Cactus Jackie Dunks. I don't know what the Dunks are called. I made that up. And the 4s too. They're not called the Travi Patties. And low-key, one of the most slept-on sneakers, the OVO 12s by Drake and Jordan.
I have some 12s, bro. The 12s are nice, bro. This is actually a good, nice pair, though. I'm not gonna lie. This is fire, bro.
I don't think it was really slept on at the time, but these were smooth. And
those are nice, bro.
Retrospectively, this was
those are not. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not a huge Drake fan, but that shit is nice.
Crazy time to be alive. Not only were massive celebrities collaborating with sneaker brands, streetwear brands.
Is that Justin Bieber?
Like Supreme dropped. And
fuck Justin Bieber doing? Sorry, I know it's not. I know it's not Justin Bieber. Shut the fuck up.
Which
Stop crying.
The era in streetwear to a whole new level. Need I even mention all of the sneakers that Off-White put out with Nike and Converse?
Off-White?
Seriously, it was ridiculous how many collabs they had. It was an entire takeover of the pop culture.
Louis Vuitton.
These collabs between all of these big names and brands resulted in hype never seen before. It was off the charts. SoundCloud Rap 2 was popping off at the time and everyone in it was wearing hypebeast stuff. And on top of all this, all of your favorite influencers and internet people.
Nah, this is like your typical like, yo, they're like, you know how many times I've seen this exact same fucking fit? Hold on.
Stuff. And on top,
I've seen at least like 20 niggas in fucking high school wear this exact same fucking fit. The exact same fucking fit.
Of all this, all of your favorite influencers and internet people were dripped out in hypebeast stuff too. I mean, remember when FaZe Banks and Rice Gum tried to make that fashion brand? And at the time, I was watching a lot of Nade Shot because he was one of my favorite COD players. And next thing I know, he's doing this hypebeast.
And then you got Casanat, he doing his shit.
Sneaker collection videos on his channel. On top of this, Complex had that sneaker shopping series that I guess they still have, but back then they had people like Eminem, Ronaldo, Migos, literally everybody was on it. It felt like in every single facet of pop culture, sneaker culture, streetwear culture, and hype beast stuff was everywhere. I mean, dude, there was this YouTuber who was huge back then called Blazendary, whose biggest video is wearing a crazy outfit on my first day of school.
This shit probably got like millions of fucking views, bruh.
In parentheses, Supreme Louis Vuitton.
How many?
Today, I decided to bust out a $4,000 outfit for school.
That is so extra, though. Like, back then, that is like a dream. Like, when I was in school. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm too good for this shit. Well, no. But, like, nowadays, it's like, I wouldn't mind having a fit like this, but, like, I just want it, like, I'm just not obsessing over it. You know what I mean? Like,
to see if I can get some reactions out of my friends and maybe even a teacher too. We'll have to see. As you guys can see, I'm wearing the Supreme Louis Vuitton.
but they're gonna check if that shit's real though, buddy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're flexing, bro. I feel bad for all the like kids like myself that would see niggas like this and be like, damn, bro. I wish I had fucking parents that buy me shit like that.
Along with
I wish my parents could afford some shit like
3
that for
gold
me.
chains, a Louis Vuitton belt with Supreme boxers, and
What the
Gucci
fuck?
snakes that I picked up for my birthday vlog. And you guys are gonna be surprised for the kind of backpack I use for school. All
That
I
means-
use is just a regular old Supreme
Oh
Courier
my
backpack.
god,
And this
bro.
got 14 million
I
views.
knew it. I fucking knew it. This shit had to have blown up. This had to get millions of fucking views. There's no fucking way.
This entire time, the aftermarket was growing in accordance to the hype. As many of you may or may not remember, shoes and clothes from these brands in particular began to get very expensive. In 2013, Grailed was created.
Grailed.
And in 2015, StockX and GOAT were created as
StockX,
well.
GOAT,
There
yep.
were others, but these were some
Yeah.
of the main websites to buy and sell your stuff on. And
Yep.
everyone wanted to start reselling, myself included. I was about 14 years old, I think, when this stuff started popping off and I took notice. And like any 14-year-old at the time, I was infatuated with sneaker culture. I thought it was so cool. All my friends were getting cool shoes. I didn't have any money, so my
Facts, bro. I can relate to that.
immediately went to, I need to start flipping shoes like everyone else on the internet. So I bought my
I didn't do that. I never flipped shoes or no shit like that though.
first pair of expensive
I never got into that.
sneakers ever when the Yeezy Zebras dropped, and I
Oh
sold
my
them
God.
for $300 profit on
That's it. Only 300.
Twitter. I'll probably throw some pictures up on screen for you guys, but you know what? My business went pretty well. I think I did all right. Now, I'm not very proud of being a reseller or more realistically a scalper, but I was also a kid, so don't tear my head off. I only did it with like 15 pairs of shoes. I wasn't I didn't have a lot
I didn't do it at all.
of money
I'm
back
not gonna
then,
lie.
but I did do this
But I don't blame him,
well,
no.
on a small scale, buying and selling various shoes and reselling them on my buy sell trade Instagram page or my
Nowadays, like, bro, this shit, like, I see shoes that used to be like $200. They're now cost like $2,400 for like no fucking reason. And sometimes they be used too. They're not brand new. They're used. I'm like, what the fuck?
Twitter. Actually, I think
the
the
fuck?
Twitter I use right now is what I started it for sneakers. However, I think my experience as a reseller is important for this video because
Okay.
it kind of shows how things went south in sneaker culture. I was doing it at such a small scale, buying only a pair or two of sneakers every time there was a hype drop. And I joined the community at the end of it though, because the already experienced resellers who were older and had much more capital were about to take over. Yeezys by Kanye West and Adidas were undoubtedly the most hype shoe you could buy at the time. The 350 V1s were like diamonds, very rare and
Okay.
very expensive.
Yeah.
And the V2s were like gold. And people
I mean, even today, I rarely see niggas wear shit like that. Maybe that's because I live in New Mexico, and the people here in New Mexico, y'all are like a few years behind on like. I mean, technically, if that's the case, then you would see niggas wear them. I mean, I take that back, but it's still though. I live in like New Mexico, like you don't see as many niggas like, you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, but like It's rare. Like, I mean, it was rare. There was only like 1 or 2 kids in my school, in my high school, that like had these shoes, bro. It was like, you know
People
what I
were
mean?
rushing to buy the new V2s every time they dropped, like it was a modern day gold rush. Quickly, people began to create bot programs
Oh
and
my
bots
God,
to buy
bro.
shoes on releases quicker than any human with 10 computers could. Because back then, you had to
Wow.
wait in a queue. So what I would do is I'd set up my computer,
Whoever created that shit, bro, fuck you.
I'd set up my laptop, I'd
You the reason why niggas can't buy toilet paper and PS5s, bro. The fuck is wrong with you?
grab everyone in my house's phone, and I pull up the Yeezy website on every device, multiple tabs, and wait and hope I got in on one tab.
I think like the fact that we have such a huge wealth disparity in our country though too is probably like a huge impact on that shit too. You know, like there's a lot of things that play into it. You know, people just don't be buying as many sneakers because, you know, when you've been locked out of it for so long, you haven't been able to afford it. Once you get older, you kind of realize like, oh, it's not really as worth it. You know what I mean? Not saying that I don't like sneakers. I'm not saying that I will never buy a pair of sneakers. I'm not saying none of that shit. But like most people just can't afford that shit, bro.
Yeah,
That
but
shit
when
just
the bots
expensive,
came,
bro.
There was nothing you could do. If you didn't have bots, you were pretty much out of luck. Not only that, but
Yeah.
some people were buying up all the supply of all the shoes in the aftermarket, paying the premiums, and then just controlling the price because they had so much capital to begin with. I remember going to the bathroom every Thursday at school at like 10 a.m. trying to catch the Supreme drop just for it to be sold out in 5 seconds. Like, it was
What
impossible
the
to compete with
fuck?
bots.
I feel like that was part of the culture, right? Like for me, that was just part
Like
of the
the
experience.
physical outside.
The
version
physical
of it, yeah.
outside, waiting in.
That's why I hate niggas like that, bro. Y'all using all these bots and shit, bro. Like, and it's crazy because they resell them at like a crazy fucking price, and then they don't get sales, so they end up having to drop the price later on anyways. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Cold on December 23rd when the Space Jams came out,
Jordan
retro.
11s, yeah.
I lined up 14 hours in like -2-degree weather.
Did you get the shoe?
I did. Then when it transitions everything online and I couldn't get anything unless you had a bot.
Bots, yeah.
I didn't have the bots. People were investing thousands of dollars on bots. It kind of like pushed people like me out of the community because I wasn't doing it for a resale. I wasn't doing it to sell my sneakers. I was doing it because I wanted the sneaker. I wanted to wear them. I wanted to show them off when around my friends.
Yeah, it's like a luxury to have them.
Sellers
Yeah.
who previously were casually buying sneakers and reselling them time to time for fun or for the occasional profit were now operating
Marijuana
and treating
socks.
sneakers as a full-time business. This is at a time when I remember
Those marijuana socks are so comfy, bro. Y'all get yourself a pair of marijuana socks. I don't know why, but they're the most comfiest socks, bro.
everyone on Twitter was a guru or a hustler, flexing how much they made and telling you can pay them to learn the ways. This is also around the time that dropshipping gurus started popping up, like the Thai.
People gotta understand that like not everybody can be a billionaire. This individual like mindset that we can all make it to the top together. You can't make it to the top if you're locking people out of the community, and you end up fucking everybody in the end anyways because. I mean, people will not be able to afford it. You won't be able to sell as many. You know, yeah, you're gonna have some people throughout the world that might be able to afford it, but like, you know, like the average person is gonna get locked out, and then as time goes on, the trend becomes dead. You know, like
Lopez era.
Yeah, like-
and I remember people on Twitter were even selling these things called jigs where you could get stuff for free basically. Regardless, the whole community, especially people my age in high school, started to resell shoes, and it began to get so competitive that it was one of the main things that ruined sneaker culture. Resellers went too far. Everyone was trying to do it, even myself. Again, I don't think I was a big
Yeah, not everybody can do it
part of
though.
the problem though. I only sold like 15 pairs of shoes and I was a kid, but hey, it wasn't the best thing I've ever done. Resellers had always been a part of sneaker culture, and I don't think there was really a problem with them for the first few decades, as the market seemed more organic. But as sneaker popularity was astroturfed in the hype era, many people, including young, dumb, impressionable kids like 14-year-old me, saw it as an opportunity to make money and be just like their favorite celebrity, artist, or influencer who was flexing, balling.
But not everybody can do it though. Like that's the thing. Not everybody can be a fucking reseller, bro. You're just gonna be locking out other people who are coming up. They're not gonna be able to come into the community because they've been locked out. They can't afford it. Like, you know, like you know what I mean? It's like the housing crisis. It's like, you know, boomers are selling houses to other boomers. You get what I mean? Like
out wearing all this dope ass streetwear. It got to a point where all of the interest was artificially inflated, to the point where the market was mostly just resellers buying and trading to resell. not even selling to people anymore. I think a good example of how scummy resellers began to get is when they tried to take advantage of Kobe's death. According to an article on ESPN, in January of 2020, Nike had to quickly remove all of its Kobe Bryant related products from the shelf to stop people from profiting off of his death. And they weren't even able to do it successfully because sneakers and memorabilia prices were hiked by 200 to 300% on resale sites within 24 hours of his passing. Thanks to resellers, the middle class of the sneaker economy could no longer afford to buy the shoes.
Can't
and
afford
for
it.
the most part, it was either big resellers trading with one another or selling to celebrities or selling to rich people who could afford it. But then the bubble burst.
Does anyone want to explain why shoes are literally just dying right now? I own a sneaker store and we've been struggling for the last couple months. And y'all can
I mean, how much do you, like, bro, look, like, you
say,
can't.
Oh, it's because you overprice things. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, it's a Yeezy. You're overpricing it. It's $110. Retails like 2 something. Market's like 190. I'm pricing it at 110.
Oh, okay.
It's brand new. An off-white lot.
But it's also just because, like, nobody, like, people can't afford to go buy shoes right now. It's just, this shit's been going on for so long that people have given up. Like, they just, you know what I mean? And now the shit is collapsing.
Which what you haven't been able to get for 4 years now? You used to be going for $500 to $600. Market's like $400. We have them priced at $320.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I made a decent amount of money reselling sneakers, but I got so many pairs that never sold. And some of these inventory hasn't just been sitting for 6 months, a year, 2 years. Some of these inventory has been sitting for 3+ years. And at this point, I don't even know what to do. Like this dunk right here, the ones that you guys are seeing right now, I had them for over 561 days. Like guys, how is that even possible? Like,
at first, sneaker reselling caused the death of sneaker culture. The resellers made shoes unattainable for the everyday sneakerhead. However, as we saw in those clips and the intro, prices for a lot of these shoes have dropped drastically. Resellers are going broke. So why are prices dropping so hard, and
oh, you telling me it's a good time to go get me some shoes right now?
why are people no longer interested in sneaker culture?
It's because, you know, people are struggling. Most people in this country are struggling, bro. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody, even though y'all dropped the prices, y'all got too carried away, bro, and now nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, even me, like, I mean, that's nice that the prices have dropped. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Shit. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to get me. I don't know, bro. I just don't think it's worth it right now, bro. Like, you know, like,
or hype culture like they used to be. Well, a big reason was because there ended up being too much supply, and this is also thanks to the resellers. They just ruined all of it, didn't they? Sneaker companies wanted to fight back against resellers, and to do this, they flooded the market, which made it nearly impossible for shoes to be hoarded. Nike was one of the major players in this. To combat resellers, especially with the Panda Dunks and Jordan 1s, Nike drastically increased volume on these popular models, leading to market oversaturation and a significant drop in resale prices.
Is there one dunk that is still selling heavy from years past?
Nope.
Really?
Are Panda Dunks still selling? They're dead.
Panda
really?
Dunks
are dead.
Panda
Dunks
are officially
dead. I got offered wholesale for $50. Nobody's buying them. You can't even sell them at retail.
Nike moved away from
because y'all fucking ruined it.
The extreme scarcity model to maximize direct-to-consumer sales, which undermined the get-rich-quick model for resellers. On top of this, the pace at which drops came to the market became completely unsustainable. Beforehand, more exclusive drops drove demand through the roof, but over time, they ended up releasing new sneakers almost every single week, whether it be a new colorway, a new model, a slightly different colorway change, a re-release of an old colorway. They were just spam releasing shoes, making the sneaker market as a whole feel irrelevant, since no one needs or even wants that much stuff. And this struggle to find a happy balance between supply and demand isn't new either. This has gone back decades, with the early 2000s market looking completely different from how it did at its peak. Early on, size runs were low, often obnoxiously to the point where everyone spent most of their time on forums complaining about the impossibility of finding a decent pair. A run of 24 to 36 pairs was not.
Yeah, they don't create as many like I said, when you go to Foot Locker nowadays, bro, or you go to like a local sneaker shop store, like, you know, mainly the more big box stores, they don't really got nice shoes anymore. I don't know what they're just like. Yeah, bro, it just got played out, bro. Like, the only shoes that I think are worth buying are Air Forces, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I have to get me another pair of Air Forces because the one I have now, they're worn out and shit. So, You know, you gotta get your yearly pair of Air Forces, bro.
Common, but 500 to 1,000 was more likely. This period was all about creating something cool to stimulate the growing global community of footwear obsessives. In response to all the complaining, Nike, amongst other brands, produced more, a lot more. So what they originally sold as exclusive became extremely and maybe too accessible. And I believe that to a degree, rarity and exclusivity is nice. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to walk outside and see everyone wearing the exact same pair of shoes that I'm wearing.
True.
It got to a point where Jordan 1s were about as accessible as Nike Roches. Do you guys remember those?
Oh my god, bro.
Like, that's crazy.
Oh my god, I remember those.
Just happened with Nike. Kanye's Yeezy brand famously partnered with Adidas in 2014, and as I explained, they absolutely blew up. But then Kanye started his whole Twitter rant and anti-Semitism stuff, which is obviously not a good look for Adidas, no matter how well the shoes were selling. I remember he even said, Adidas won't cancel my contract, and then they did, which was kind of funny. As a result came a pretty hefty and publicized feud over how things were going to work out in the split, and after a long legal battle following the cut ties in 2022, an agreement was finally reached. Adidas chief executive Bjorn Gulden told reporters, without giving any details of the agreement away, that there aren't any more open issues and there is no money going either way. Ending the partnership in 2022 left Adidas with unwanted Yeezy stock worth some 1.2 billion pounds, including shoes and other goods. To combat this inventory problem, Adidas planned to sell off all the remaining inventory by the end of 2024. Since Yeezys were pretty much the thing in the sneakerhead and hypebeast game, a huge influx of new and cheap product wrecked the exclusive market. Plus, they re-released tons of old Yeezy models that sneakerheads thought could never be re-released, diluting the previously successful market. Adidas and Yeezy were already kind of doing what Nike was doing before Kanye ruined his relationship with Adidas. But once they decided to sell off the stock, it was GG's, completely disorienting the current supply and demand structure. So after resellers priced everyone out, the pendulum swung right back. And so many sneakers released, it overwhelmed everyone to the point where they didn't care. The companies themselves weren't so innocent in all of this either.
StockX, GOAT,
one of the biggest platforms for reselling, was actually sued by Nike for various reasons, including the fact that they were selling counterfeit shoes. This had always been a big controversy with StockX, and if you're in the sneaker community, you would know that tons of people would record videos trying to get fake shoes through their verification system, which is what they were known for, and StockX actually lost the lawsuit. But Nike and its associates aren't perfect.
I did not know about that.
Nike executive Ann Hebert, or whatever, left the company after her son allegedly used corporate issued credit cards to buy $132,000 worth of shoes.
Damn,
he only made like 20K profit, which is crazy. But as I'm sure many of you can imagine, a lot of people assume that
I told you, not everybody can be a fucking reseller, because if everybody's a reseller, then everybody's just gonna be reselling shoes to each other, and then the market isn't gonna grow.
He was the one helping.
And then the people who, who are trying to get into it can't, because the market has gotten so big. And so it's harder to become, it's basically became more unaffordable to the point where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, they just destroyed the market, bro.
Him backdoor the shoes so that they could skim some money off the top, and then if she ever got caught, she could blame it on her son. She then became the CEO of Foot Locker, with Redditors commenting things like, smart, why limit yourself to backdooring just one brand? But there were also two other reasons that sneaker culture died. One of which is that fashion simply moved on. I mean, can you picture someone wearing something like this these days? Along with the financial side and exclusivity pressure.
I would not get no shit like this.
Fashion.
Niggas, I feel people have gotten to more like vintage and that kind of shit now, though,
the
right?
trends just moved on to something else like they always do, which Off-White's creator, the late and great Virgil, predicted before his death, saying in an interview, I would definitely say it's gonna die, like its time will be up. Overall, as a broad vein of fashion, streetwear has lost its definition. As RB Lee, the vice president for content strategy at Hypebeast, said, I can't even define it anymore. It's not that people have grown tired of streetwear's building blocks, it's that those hoodies and sneakers and t-shirts have become so absorbed by high fashion that the line between streetwear and fashion has pretty much disappeared. It has simply become the platform on which the whole system stands, said Demna, the creative director at Balenciaga. A big point of the and the streetwear fashion was to be like anti-establishment, but when everyone started wearing it, it's kind of like that is establishment now, especially when high fashion started collaborating with streetwear brands. Vogue Business also reported,
like, at this point, in terms of fashions, the best, if you want to have good fashion, just create your own fashion, bro. Wear the clothes that fit with you. What clothes do you like to wear? If you want to wear Jordans and Air Forces and shit still, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I still do, but like it just when it comes to like actual, like, clothes, like, people just go to just I think vintage is like the new thing though, because I guess, right? Like,
that sneaker demand has practically nosedived. Tons of people started opting towards higher fashion-focused show choices, like with the current trend of boots. Many have even pointed to the nail in the sneakerhead coffin being when Trump
launches $399 gold never surrender sneakers after court. Nigga, I ain't buying that shit.
His own pair of sneakers on the campaign trail.
Trump's first stop at a sneaker convention in
What
Philadelphia,
the fuck?
facing some boos from the audience. It's a slightly different audience.
Oh, hell no, bruh. Nah, bruh. Nah, this nigga, he a scammer if you ain't never seen one, bruh. And he knows it, too. Look at this nigga, bruh. Nigga got Trump shoes? What the fuck? Who the fuck buying Trump shoes?
I'm used to, but I love this audience.
Hell nah.
We gotta get young people out to vote.
The whole idea of
He really trying to get them votes, huh?
sneakers has become so insanely commercialized that the industry and its expectations are completely warped. And on top of this, I mean, just try to picture people wearing the hypebeast shoes and clothes these days. I mean, you can't. Fashion has simply changed. I mean, dad shoes are back, neutral colors are back. People aren't going out in bright red Supreme fits anymore. However, in the end, it wasn't just
that's me. I wear black shirts.
Changing fashion trends that killed sneaker culture. My fourth main reason comes down to simple economics, especially following a post-pandemic economy where everything is expensive. I mean, eggs are getting too damn pricey.
God
So
damn,
why would
bro.
I pay a bunch of money for some fancy shoes? A longtime sneaker fan said on a forum, as a 13-year collector, I have to say yes, the sneaker culture sucks now. You can't even buy the kicks you want without going above and beyond and out of your way. I think it's officially time to throw in the towel. Because of resellers, most sneakerheads were priced out of the game, and all the time for where many, money was already tight. The industry has done its best to stay relevant with younger generations, but with disposable income for many people seemingly drying up, it doesn't seem like it's working too well. Even though sneaker prices have come back down a little bit, retail is still pretty expensive. Nowadays, a lot of would-be sneaker buyers are leaning more towards experiences over material purchases. Plus, most people working regular jobs that have some money saved up also have side hustles, and they don't want to waste that money on sneakers. Real-world problem
niggas, a lot of
problems popped up left and right, which made the
most people in this country cannot afford, can barely get by or living paycheck to paycheck, bro. Like, not everybody can do that, bro. That's just the reality, bro. Niggas are going, like, I used to wear Ray-Bans, but the reason why I got rid of my Ray-Ban glasses is because they break easily. They do. Two, it's just not worth spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on frames, bro. Like some nice classic black frames, bro. I'm going simple, bro. My when it comes to like how I wear my clothes now, I'm a lot more simple than what I used to be. You know, I go more like I mainly, when I buy clothes, like I bought some sweats recently, but it's more of it's like a personal clothing brand, that kind of deal, that kind of shit. That's the kind of way I go, like, you know, vintage, you know. There is vintage designer, but like I think people just have gone. You just gotta, like, I don't know, bro. Like it's just I mean, like I said, like having a pair of Jordan or two is not bad, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, I would never want to have a closet full of Jordans. If I can afford that, I would do that for sure. I'm not gonna fucking lie, bro. Why not better up the lifestyle? If you can afford to travel the world and, you know, have a good lifestyle, fuck it, bro. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that, like, at this point. But it's like, we live in an economy where the top 1% is eating the most. You know, most people are struggling. We only have like, isn't it like 95% of the people in this country only hold like 2.5% of the wealth in the entire nation? It's crazy.
Average household budget a lot more tight.
Do you feel like there are a lot less resale shops now?
Oh yeah,
a lot of shops have shut down.
Yeah,
that's only because of Nike. It's because of like the whole, you know, economy. People don't have the same amount of money, right, to spend on sneakers as freely they did 5 years ago. Your bills go up, Easy Pass goes up, tolls go up, gas goes up. Your pay doesn't go up as much drastically as your bills go up. So people are just generally spending a little lesser than they used to.
No one has time or money to care anymore, and I think that's pretty apparent. I mean, wearing a fake pair of shoes used to be the worst thing ever, and now I doubt anyone would bat an eye if I wore a pair of Yeezy Reps. By the way, speaking of that, I've been looking for a good rep website. If any of you guys out there know, let me know in the comments. Top voted one, I will
Hey, look, I'm trying to buy some fake shoes, bro. I'm not doing all this extra shit.
Because
I don't blame them though.
Because there's no point in paying full price for a pair of shoes that are overpriced, and the reps are just about as good quality anyway. I don't care. Regardless, sneaker culture itself isn't fully dead. But thanks to resellers, a massive supply, changes in fashion, and a terrible economy, sneaker culture is nowhere near what it used to be. On the bright side though, to a degree, this is a good thing.
Plus, like, what the fuck is this design? That shit is so chopped. Like, who the fuck is wearing this? 6'9", my nigga? These are alright. These are alright. I mean, they're alright.
Since resellers can no longer afford to ruin everything for everybody else, that means at least passionate collectors can somewhat afford to collect the shoes they dreamed of. On a similar reminiscent note, you may also remember Kids Bop from your childhood as well.
Oh my god, I forgot about this shit, bro.
Surprised to know that
what
also
the fuck?
is still around to this day. And if
Is
you're
it?
curious how that's even possible,
Kids Bop is still around, bro. Boy, no fucking way, boy. Boy, no fucking way, boy. Yeah, bro, like, growing up, like, I used to share shoes with my brothers and shit and all that. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like niggas just can't afford that kind of shit no more, bro. And plus, like, because of how things are now, people are focusing, like, their mental, you know, making their own lives happier than they are focusing on, like, the materialistic shit nowadays, which is a good thing. That is a very good fucking thing, and we should keep this fucking going. But I hope you guys have a good breakfast, a good dinner, a good night, man. You know what I'm saying? Video link will be down in the description. If you want to check out this, you know, guys, you know, channel and shit, more of his videos. His videos are amazing. Love y'all, man. Peace.